All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's training. My name is Jose. I'm going to be your trainer. I am the lead trainer here at the MLS. And today we're going to be talking about some new features in the MLS. We're going to be talking about the neighborhood snapshot, and we're going to also be going over the Slim module. Uh, you guys are muted, but if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and go ahead and ask any questions you may have. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Also, you can use the chat section or the chat program of the Zoom meeting here. You can type in your questions as well if you like to type them out, and then I can go ahead and go over the questions towards the end. So today we're going to be talking about the neighborhood snapshot. So what is the neighborhood snapshot? So the neighborhood snapshot is a new report you can create and run this report and pull up like statistics or analytics, or in other words, you can pull up market trends in five different areas or on a single map sheet. You can use zip code, subdivision, areas, cities, or you can, like I said, you can use a single map shape for your neighborhood snapshot report. So I just want to confirm that you guys are able to see my screen. If somebody can just go ahead and either unmute yourself and say yes, or just type in the chat and say yes, that you can see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, so let's jump right into it here. So right here, you can see that I'm logged in into the MLS homepage. And by the way, I am recording this, so I will provide a recording if you guys would like to re-watch this or review it. I am recording this this meeting, so just to let you guys know. So as you can see here, I'm on the homepage here of the MLS. As soon as you log in, this is the landing page, and you'll notice that on the homepage we have a new widget or uh, um, a new widget on our homepage that, or portlet as we call them, that's called the neighborhood snapshot. And like I mentioned, the neighborhood snapshot is a report you can run and create a PDF report on market trends and see how the market is doing around, the area that you select or zip code or city. And we can pull up PDF reports and share that. We can print them out. And so the neighborhood snapshot is we provide a free 30-day trial period where you can try it out, use it, see if it's something that you can get a use of and it could work for you. So we do provide a 30-day free trial. There is a little short video you can watch. It's like about a 2-minute video where you can play and see like the key features of the neighborhood snapshot. But let's go over that right now. So if you want to try it out, you go ahead and click on 30-day free trial. So we click on that button and it's going to bring us to the landing page for the neighborhood snapshot, where we can read some more information. We can watch that video again here, and we can scroll down. You can read that there's more information. The neighborhood snapshot is a powerful real-time metrics report. You can compare data from the previous year, and you can also run the reports for 1 to 3 months at a time. You can customize your report. It is branded to you, so you can show your information, your email, your contact information, name, photo. You can also view the additional map views like road, aerial, bird's eye. And we're still continually working on this. So we're always updating this neighborhood snapshot report. And we're going to see all the different updates that we've done. And some of the updates that we're working on as well. I'll mention some of those. So let me go back to the top here, and we're gonna go ahead and start our free trial. So I'm gonna press start free trial. So this is the process you're gonna go through in order to activate and turn on the neighborhood snapshot. So we're gonna click on start free trial. There are 2 plans you can choose from. We have the monthly plan, which is $29.95, and there's the yearly plan where it's $239 with 40 cents, which comes down to $19.95 a month. So you save yourself $10 when you select the yearly plan here. So you go ahead and select which plan you want to sign up for. Again, you are starting a 30-day trial. So for 30 days, we're not going to charge you. But if you want to continue using it, then whichever plan you select, your credit card will automatically be billed. So you select which plan you want to use. And then here it's going to enter your email. So this is the email you want. We're going to be sending your billing information and a reminder that your your account is about to, get charged, and your 30-day trial is about to expire. So you want to make sure you put in a good email that you frequently check. So we'll go ahead and put in an email there. We hit next, and then we're going to put in our credit card information here. So we do provide you that, the 30 days will finish or end or will expire on 30 days from the date you sign up. You will be emailed a reminder before your billing date. If you do not cancel your 30-day trial, then your credit card will automatically be billed, and depending on which plan you select. And you can cancel anytime, all right? So just keep in mind that, you do have 30 days, so you have to cancel within 30, before the 30 days are over if you don't want to get charged. If you do, let's say you do use it for a month or 2 months and you decide to cancel, you will be able to use for that rest, the rest of the time that, you're signed up for. So if you have a month, if you sign up for a month and you canceled on day 20th, right? So then you do have, 10 extra days to use it until, so you can cancel before your time is over, and you can use for that rest of the time period that you have available. Okay, so we go ahead and put in our, credit card information, and then we click on make purchase at the bottom, and this will unlock that neighborhood snapshot. Again, if it's you're using it for the first time and you have the 30-day trial, you won't get charged until that 30-day trial is over. So once you go ahead and make that purchase, it unlocks the neighborhood snapshot. Now let me go ahead and switch to a different account here where I have it unlocked. So once you enter all the information, the neighborhood snapshot, it's going to, where did I go? Oh, here it is. So let me move it to the top here so that we can see that better, right? So the neighborhood snapshot will get unlocked. So this is how it's going to look when you first unlock it, all right? And so like I mentioned, you can use a neighborhood snapshot and you can search for up to 5 different locations, up to 5 locations. And when we mean, what we mean by locations, we mean by area, city, subdivision, or zip code. So you can put up to 5 areas or 5 zip codes, and you can bring up or pull up reports on those areas. You can use one shape. So if you have a saved shape in your searches and you want to pull up data on that saved shape, you can use one shape at a time. So let's start off with 5 different locations. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in 5 different areas. So for example, let's say I want to search in Beverly Hills. So that's area 1. So I can type in the number 1, and then I can select from the suggestions below, and that'll enter area 1. And let's say I want to search in Brentwood. So I'm going to put area 6 and select area 6. Let's say I don't know the number for that area that I want to pull up information on. Let's just say, for example, Culver City. So if I don't know the number, I can type in the name as well for the area. We'll get the result below, area 28, and so on. So we can, let's say I also want to include Westwood. I can type in Westwood, and then I'll put in one more. I'll put area 10, which is West Hollywood. So now I have 5 different areas. I have area 10, Westwood, Culver City. I have area 6 for Brentwood and area 1 for Beverly Hills. So again, we can use up to 5 different areas at once, okay? And then below that, we're gonna put in our criteria. So what type of properties am I looking for? Am I looking for condos, income, lease, or single family? Okay, you can select the property type. We can choose up to 3 months. So right now I have March. Let's say I want January, February, and March. So I can select up to 3 months. Now, when you select more than 1 month and we pull the data that it's gonna pull is gonna pull for all 3 months together, okay? So it's not gonna break it down month by month. In that case, I would have to do 1 month at a time. But since we choose more than 1 month, it's gonna bring the data, all the data it's gonna gather, it's gonna add them all together. So it's gonna give me all the data for all 3 months together, added together. So we'll see that right now. And then I can choose a year. So I can go back up to 2018. Okay, that's how far back we are pulling data for. So I can choose which year. All right, let's go ahead and pull up 2020. So I have these 5 areas for single family, January, February, and March, and for 2020 this year. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click on create report, and that's gonna run the report. It's gonna start gathering the data, all the information for all those 5 areas for that year, those 3 months, and it's gonna load the report for me. So right now it's running the report, and you're gonna see the report pop up in just a minute, and we'll start seeing all the information, all the data. And so here we are. Perfect. So here we got the information. Right now we are looking at Westwood, Hollywood vicinities. So here on the top, it tells me which area I'm looking at right now at this moment. And so again, it tells me the criteria. We search for single family for January, February, March of this year in Westwood. And so now we look at the data. So what kind of information do we pull up? So we have right here the total sold volume. So this is how much the sold volume has been in those 3 months in Hollywood for single family. So we have $53 million, a little bit over 53 million, the total sold volume. We have average sale price, 2.3 there. We have the median price. Then below that, we have the total active listings. Now, when we say active listings, we don't necessarily mean that 152 listings were added in these 3 months. It means that a listing, could have been added in December of 2019, and it was still active during January or February or March or all 3 months. Okay, so 152 active listings during these 3 months, and we have the average list price and the median price for these active listings. We go here to the right side, we have a nice looking bar graph here where we can see the total sold volume. Okay, so we can see visually, right now we saw that it was 53 million, but we can visually see it compared to the year before that we're up this year. So it's you can see there with the nice looking like bar graph right there. And then we have the closed sales. And this means the total sold listings, the total sales that were closed in these 3 months. So we have a total of 25 closed sales. And then we have the average sale price and the median price for these 25 sold listings. Again, we're looking at all 3 months together. Okay, so all these 25 listings sold in these 3 months. Now you see that below each widget there's a option there that says compare to last year. Okay, I can click on that and it's gonna show me this year versus last year. And so we're looking right here at the overview. Okay, so this is all the information for these 3 months in West Hollywood. So we have the total sold volume. So we're comparing this year versus last year. And to the right of that, we can see the percent change. So it looks like we are up 20%, almost 21% compared to last year. Then we have the average list price. We have the median price, the average sale price versus the average list price, and then the average days on market, and the number of listings that sold. So we're comparing, we're doing an overview compare of all these listings for these 3 months in West Hollywood. If we go to the right, these little arrows here will load the next set of data, and this will give us the overview. So all this information we saw here before, okay, it'll put it up in a nice bar graph. So we can see, and visually we can see how the market is doing in West Hollywood for these 3 months this year. So we can say, it's safe to say that West Hollywood is doing pretty good compared to last year. And so we can see that we go to the right, then it breaks it down by sold listings and active listings. So now we're looking at only the active listings for these 3 months in West Hollywood. And it breaks it down for us. Then we go to the right, and then we have the sold listings. So we break it down. So we have the overview, and then we break it down by actives and by sold listings. Okay, and then it brings us back. So it circles back to the previous or the beginning of our data. So again, that's a great tool to use where you're like, you want to let your clients know, or you just want to see yourself how the market is doing. you can pull up a different information for different areas. Let's say I want to load a different area now. I did add 5 different areas. So at the top here, we have all the 5 areas. Okay, and let's say I want to look at Beverly Hills. So I can click on Beverly Hills here, and it's going to load now the Beverly Hills information. So now we can see for that area how the market has been doing these 3 months this year. If we scroll down, we're going to see a map view of the area, so we can you can see what we're covering, the borders for the different areas that we've selected. So right now we're looking at Beverly Hills, so I can see there the borders and see what this information is pulling for, you know, what area. And we, like I mentioned earlier, we can change the map view. Here in the top right, we have the different map views. So if I want to look at this in an aerial view, okay, I can go ahead and change that to a different view or a bird's eye view, okay, or I can just come back to road or street side. Okay, so that's the map option. We just put it there so you can see exactly what the area that you're covering, you're looking at. And then we did get 41. We're looking at Beverly Hills now. So Beverly Hills has 41 sold or closed sales these 3 months. So we pull up these 41 closed sales. So if I scroll down, now we're going to see those 41 sold listings. And we can look at the photos. We can, you know, navigate through the photos from here, or I can just go ahead and click on the photo, and I can view the photos in a bigger size. Okay, and we also provide the sold details. So the sold price, we have the bedrooms, bathroom square footage, and the address for the property. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that we're currently, you know, updating this new feature. We're making more, updates and adding more features to the neighborhood snapshot. And one of the features or one of the updates that we're going to be releasing soon is where you can actually click on these sold listings and pull up the detail report. So you have all the information, you know, like the selling agent and all the breakdown, the detail report. I'm sure you're familiar with that. So you'll be able to click on the listing or select the listings and view the agent detail report. Okay, so that's one of the updates that we're working on. So just keep an eye out for that, where you'll be able to view the full detail reports. Okay, so we do have 41, so we can go and scroll through them and view all 41 listings if we like to view those sold listings. All right, so now another thing that the neighborhood snapshot report has is that you can customize it. It is branded to you. So you see my information here in the top right. All right, this is what's going to be shown on the report. However, you know, maybe I want to use a different phone number or a different email, or I want to update my photo or my logo. So you see there's my photo and a logo as well. You can do that just for this report. You can update that information. So here on the right side of the report of all the information, here on the right, we have your information. So if I want to change like my photo, for example, or my logo, right here on the right side, there's a link where you can click on, and it's going to take you to the photo manager where you can change your profile photo, or if you don't have a logo and you want to add a logo or change it, you can go ahead and just click this link here to the right, and that's going to take you to the photo manager. Below that, we have the agent information where you can make some changes that's only going to apply to this report. It's not going to update or change your member record in the MLS. It's just going to update this report. So maybe I want to use a different number for my neighborhood snapshot report. Perhaps I also want to use a different email. I can go ahead and update that email. Maybe I want to change my website. I have a different website, or I can go ahead and update that as well. And you can also change the header color. So right now you see I'm using like this black header color here on the top. I can change that here on the right side. We just click on the header color tile, and then I can use either a preset color that we already have, or you can go ahead and change to a custom color. So here we have this little tile, with the rainbow right there. You click on that, and then you can go ahead and change whatever color you want to use. So I can go ahead and just, let's say maybe I want to use like a light blue color there. So I can go ahead and select that, and then it's going to update that on my report. Now, whenever you make some changes to the agent information or the color or anything like that, you want to make sure you hit update profile. Otherwise, it's not going to save the changes. So we go ahead and click on update profile. That way it'll save, whatever updates or changes I made to the profile here. Now, so now we have the report, we saw the information. Now we want to go ahead and print this out, or I want to share this report with a client, or I want to have this report, available for my information. So I can go ahead and on the top here we have market report, which is what we're looking at right now. But I want a PDF file, so I'm going to click on market report PDF right here at the top. So we click on that, and it's going to create the report. So this is how the report is going to actually look when you print it or when you share it. Now, we created this PDF report so that it can be printed on a single page. So that means that we have to remove some of the features that you saw earlier. So some of the things we do not include in the actual report, the actual PDF report, are the comparisons of the previous year, where we saw this year versus last year, and that nice looking bar graph. So that's not included in the actual PDF report. So we're looking and playing around, see how we can add that. We just want to make sure that we keep this report within one page. We don't want, 2 pages, or, there's one listing that got pushed into the second page, and now you have a whole page with just one line of information. So we want to keep it within one page. So what we do is we put in just the main information. So we have the overview. In the main report, we have the overview. We break down the active listings and then the closed sales. And then when it comes to the closed sales, we did get 41 listings. So what we do is we only show the top 20 in the actual report. Okay, so we only show the top 20, and we show the address and the sold price. Okay, so the top 20 meaning that the 20 most recent sold listings. Okay, so we grab the 20 most recent sold listings, and we put that in the report. Okay, so now I want to share this report. I want to print it. So here on the right side, we have download PDF. So I just click on download PDF. It's going to generate. I'm using Chrome, so it's going to download that PDF into my downloads folder. And then I can go ahead and attach on an email, or I can print this out. So once it's done, again, I'm using Chrome. So here at the bottom left, there's my report. I'm going to click on it, and it's going to open up the PDF report. So now I can print this out, or if I want to, send it through an email, I can attach it to an email. So because we do have 5 different areas, it's going to create 5 different reports, 1 report per area. So right now we're looking at West Hollywood. If I scroll down, the next report is Westwood Century City. And then the next area, Culver City, Brentwood, and then Beverly Hills at the bottom here. Okay, so it creates 5 different reports, 1 report per area. Okay, now we are, like I mentioned, again, we're always doing some updates. We're always updating and making some, releasing and adding features to this report or to this neighborhood snapshot. And so one of the features we're adding, which is coming soon, I believe in the next couple of weeks or so, it's going to be a share button where you can share directly from here. Most likely it'll be up here on the top right side or somewhere in the top, and you see share. So we'll be able to share this report directly from here by email. We're also going to be adding a feature where you can share this report directly to social media. So if you want to, share this information on social media, we'll have that share option. So that's being currently tested. So hopefully in the next week or 2, we'll have that share button directly from here. Okay, so that is our neighborhood snapshot for 5 different areas. Now, if I want to edit the criteria, maybe I want to make some changes. Maybe I don't want all 3 months. I only want 1 month. Okay, I want to compare 1 month to last year, or maybe I want to remove some of the areas. On the top right, we do have the edit criteria where I can click on that, and then I can make my changes. So I don't have to go all the way back to the home page, you know, make whatever changes or updates to the criteria and then run the report again. I can just go ahead and do that from here. Let's just say I want Beverly Hills only. So I can remove the different areas. And then perhaps I don't want 3 months. I only want, let's compare to last month of July. Okay, and then let's say I want to pull up 2018. Okay, so I can say 2018 here. Again, we'll go back to 2018 and click on Create Report. So now we're only doing one area, Beverly Hills, and 1 month, July, and 2018. Now I selected 2018 because I wanted to show you guys something. For if you select 2018, since we go back to 2018, I don't have the previous year information. So I'm not able to compare to the previous year. So whenever you select 2018 and you don't see the information for the previous year, don't be alarmed. That's because we only go back to 2018. So you'll see here at that each widget, it only says view more info. And now see, it doesn't give me the previous year. So just keep that in mind whenever you're pulling information for 2018. Okay, so here I am, I edit the criteria. Now I can just go ahead and view the information on just that 1 month in that one area that I selected. Okay, you can also personalize this report. So let's just say, for example, I'm creating this report for one of my clients and I want to personalize it. So here on the top, I can change the name. Instead of saying Beverly Hills area, I can go ahead and customize it and personalize it. So on the right side, there's a little pencil there. I can go ahead and change it. Maybe like I'm saving this for my client, Thomas. And I can say Thomas, market report or something like that. You can just name it whatever, you want to name it, make it more personalized for the client. Or, maybe, you just want to rename the report. You can do that by just clicking that pencil. So, and now I can go ahead and share, update, download the PDF and share it with my client and so on. So that is a, market report for 5 different areas. Now let's look at a single map shape. So now I'm going to go back to the home page. So the great thing about the neighborhood snapshot is that if you have a saved shape, you can load that saved shape and pull up data, information on that area or that shape that you drew. Just in case you don't know how to do a map shape, let's go ahead and go through that step. So first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and go into the search page where you enter your search criteria. So for example, you can click any property type. So I'm going to go ahead and select single family for today. That brings me to the criteria page where we enter our search parameters and start searching for properties. So what you want here is you want to draw a shape on this map here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and zoom in to the area we want. Let's say I want to search in, let's just do Hollywood area here. Okay. And I don't want the entire Hollywood area. I just want a specific, little neighborhood or area within Hollywood. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in here, and I probably want the North Hollywood here, the Hollywood Heights area. Let's do a search here. So what I'm gonna do is once I have the map area that I want, I'm gonna click on Draw on the top right, and I can choose any of these 4 options. So I'm just gonna go ahead and select the pencil where I have full control of the shape that I draw. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that pencil. Then I'm gonna start drawing here. So I'm gonna go right here, right close to the 101. And I'm gonna go down to Hollywood Boulevard here. And I'm just gonna, I'm just drawing a shape here. Okay, so this is the area that I want. Okay, I'm gonna call this the Hollywood Heights area. And so I wanna save this shape. So once I have the shape, I'm gonna go ahead and click on save right below here. When we click on draw, I'm gonna click on save and I'm gonna name it. So we're gonna go ahead and say Hollywood Heights. Okay, so whatever you want to name it. And then we hit save. We get our confirmation that has been saved successfully. So now that I have a saved shape, now I want to go to the neighborhood snapshot. So now let's go back to the home page. Now I'm going to use a neighborhood snapshot. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this. And now I'm going to switch from locations here on the left side, I'm going to switch from locations and I'm going to use shapes. So I select shapes, and this is going to load all my saved shapes that I have at some point created in a map search. So I want to go down and I'm going to search for Hollywood Heights. And there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. So now you can see that I can only select one shape. Okay, so I can do one shape at a time. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in my criteria. Maybe I'm looking for some condos and I want to pull up, you know, let's say the last 2 months. And then I'm going to say this year again. Okay, so I want to see that save shape for condos, June and July for 2020. So we click on create report. And now it's going to run that report. It's grabbing all that information, all that data, and it puts it for me in this report. So now I can see that shape that I drew, only in that shape that I drew. So I have the total volume there. There was 14 active listings during these 2 months, and only one sold in the last 2 months. And if we go down, we can see that shape that we drew will show up here in the map. And then that one sold listing that was brought up. And I can compare it to the previous years if I want. And it looks like this area, this shape that I drew, it's not doing that great. So, all right, so that's how we can use the shape option. And then again, we can go and update our information, and we can print this and download and create and have a PDF file for the neighborhood snapshot on that area or shape that I drew. Okay. Any questions on the neighborhood snapshot before I move on to the new Slim module? Remember, if you have any questions, to unmute yourself. Okay, no questions? Great. And remember, I am recording this, so if you want to rewatch this, I'll go ahead and share this with you guys. So now let's move on to the new Slim dashboard. You might have noticed that we did an update on our Slim dashboard. That's where you add a new listing or where you update and make changes to your existing listings. So we did update that. We made it we think it's a more faster, easier to add a listing into the MLS and to manage your listings. So if we go to listings and we go down to Slim, you'll notice that now there's two options, residential and commercial. Now, we've always had commercial. The only thing is that we're not a commercial MLS, but we do provide that option for our own members. If you happen to have a commercial listing and you want to go ahead and add it to the MLS, you can do so. But just keep in mind, we're not commercial MLS, so you're not going to find every commercial listing. So the commercial Slim module did not change. That still remained the same. We left it the way it was for commercial listings. Okay, we did change residential. So let's take a look at residential. All right, so when I click on Slim residential, it brings me to our new Slim dashboard. Now there are a lot of new features that we've included. And so I want to point those out. And if you have any questions in Slim in general, just let me know and I'll answer your questions. So one of the things we added was this filter feature here on the left side. So we can filter all of our listings. So let's say, for example, you may have a lot of listings that are listed in Slim, and you perhaps want to only look at your actives or your expireds or your pendings or so on. So we have a filter for status. And if we click on, let's say, for example, I only want to look at active listings. I can check active, and it's only going to show me my active listings. Or maybe I want to look at my pending, or I can choose more than one. I can choose active and pending. Then this will bring up all my listings that are active and pending. So you can filter by status. You can also filter by property type. If you have like leases and single family and incomes, you can go ahead and filter just by property type as well. Or you can also filter by area. If you only want to look at your listings in Beverly Hills, or you just want to look at your listings in a specific area, you can filter your results and to show you only the listings based on your filters. We also have a address bar here on the top, on the right side here, where you can enter an address, MLS number, or APN number. So like if I want to look at my listing, only the one that's in Wilshire, 8350 Wilshire. So I can go ahead and put in an address or an APN number or an MLS number. And that way I can only view whatever, listing I need to view. So again, you can get lost if you have a lot of listings. That's two different ways to quickly just filter or search for the listings that you do want on your dashboard. Another great thing that we've added is the columns settings, where you can create your own columns in Slim. So right now we're looking at the default columns here, the defaults here. So the system default. And so these are the columns that we show in the system default, okay? The MLS number, status, APN, list price, and we have more here. We go to the right, there are more columns there. But sometimes, maybe you want to look at the expiration date first, right? So instead of scrolling through everything, trying to find that column, you could create your own column settings here by pressing that column settings button. So we click on that, and you see here, I've created quite a few of them already, but perhaps I want to create a new one. So here on the bottom, we click on Create New, and this will allow us to select which columns we want in our Slim dashboard. So let's say, for example, I want my address, I want the APN, maybe I want to look at bathrooms and bedrooms, and let's go down here, and I want to make sure I add expiration date. So we'll go ahead and click on expiration date there. And maybe I also want to look at who is the listing agent 1 and perhaps listing agent 2, and maybe the list date and so on. So you can go down the list, and select which columns you want in your Slim dashboard. Okay, you can go through the whole list. You can add all of them or only select what you want. And then here in the middle, we're going to click on Add. That's going to add only the ones we selected. Now we want to move them and organize the order of the columns. So the further top they are, the further left they're going to show up in my report or in Slim. So maybe I want to start off with expiration date. So I'm going to move this one just by dragging and dropping and making it the first column. Then maybe I want the list date. Okay. Then we have, all right, I'll put APN number, then the address, maybe bedrooms and bathrooms. Then at the end, we have the listing information. Our MLS is important, so we're going to add that here on the top. All right, so we can move this around and organize them depending on how you want to view your Slim dashboard. Once you have them in the order you want, we're going to name this column setting. So we're going to give it a name. So let's go ahead and I'll just say Coldwell Banker Slim. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and if I want to make it my default, I can check this box here to the right. That way, every time I come to Slim, these are the column settings that's going to automatically load every time. So you can make it your default and then just hit save and load at the bottom. That's going to refresh my Slim dashboard. And now I have expiration date first, the list date, APN, MLS number, and so on. And so now we can see the different columns in our Slim dashboard. If you want to make some changes, maybe you want to add or remove some columns, just go back to column settings. Then we're going to go ahead and look for the one we want to edit. So there's CV Slim right here, and I can go ahead and click on edit, or I can create a copy of this. I can delete it, or I can load a specific Slim column setting. So if I want to go back to system default, I just click load, and it brings back the system default. So that's a new feature we have in the new Slim dashboard. Other features we have here, is the edit option here is where you can go into the listing and edit your listing. But right next to that, we have these little 3 dots, which is more actions. And we click on more actions, there's gonna be a little menu that comes up and we can add or, manage our listings with more actions. So right there, we can find add photos. If I wanna add more photos to my listing, this brings up the photo manager. Okay, we're familiar with that. Another option we have there is copy listing. I'm gonna explain some of the features with copy listing in a minute. But we do have the create virtual showing. So if you want to create a virtual showing, or you want to add like a video or a 3D video or anything like that, we can create a virtual showing from here. I'll explain that in a minute. We have click counter report, the MLS flyer, the Cloud CMA flyer, the Cloud CMA property report. There's showing time, Supra, and we have the option to share on social media. Let's go back here to copy listing. So one of the features we have in copy listing, or we've added to copy listing, was the option where you create a new listing, right? You want to copy the listing. We included the option to include the photos from the previous listing that you're copying. In the previous system, when you copy a listing, you had to go through the whole process, and you would have to upload the photos again. It didn't have an option where you can use the existing photos. Now in the new Slim dashboard, we have that feature where you can copy the listing and use the same photos. So that's a neat new feature we've included now. So let's say, for example, I want to go ahead and add this listing here that's been canceled. Okay, I entered it as single family, and it was canceled. So now the owner, wishes to put this back on the market, but now they don't want to sell it. Now they want to put it for lease. Okay, so in the previous system, I would have to create a whole new listing for lease, and I would have to add all the information and add the photos and so on. So with the new Slim, what we did is we obviously we have the copy listing. So I can either go under more actions, or I can check the box, and on the top here, we have copy listing as well. So when I click on copy listing, it's gonna ask me, do you wanna use the same photos with existing photos? I can check that box, and then just note that it may take up to 5 minutes to copy all those photos over, okay? So I can check that box. So now we have that option where you can use already the existing photos. So I'm gonna copy that listing that's been canceled. So I'm gonna click on continue, and it's gonna create a new listing for me. Now, when I first entered the listing, or when I first listed that property, I entered it as single family, which was for sale. Now let's just say that the owner wishes to just put it for lease. They don't wanna sell no more. They just wanna go ahead and lease it out. So I already copied the listing, right? And I check the box to create or copy the photos. But now I want to change this from single family to lease. So what I can do here is I can scroll down, go down to structure info. And here we have property type. Right now it's single family, but I want to change it to lease. So I have the option there to go ahead and change property type. And it's going to say, are you sure? I'm going to say yes, continue. And then I can go ahead and select. Now I want to put it in for lease. So I'm going to go ahead and select lease, hit done on the top right. And that's going to recreate the listing, but this time for lease. And I'm already using the photos from the previous listing. So it saves me a lot of time. Now I can just go ahead and add whatever information I need to add. A lot of information is already there from the previous listing, but now because it's a lease, it's going to require for a few items are now required that I must fill out. So here on the right side, we have required items, and this is our 19 items that I must fill out before adding a active lease listing. So for example, maybe I want to go ahead and look at security deposit, right? So I want to go ahead and add the security deposit information. So I can click here on the right side where it says security deposit, and it's going to take me to that section, and then I can now put in, all right, security deposit. So now that item is removed from the required items because I filled that out already. So now I can go on and go through the all the different required items and, fill out whatever applies to, my listing here. Once I'm done, all I do is here at the top right, click proceed to submit, and my listing will become active. And now I have a new lease listing with the same photos from the previous listing. So it saves myself a lot of time. So it's faster and easier to add a listing or copy a listing that's been canceled or expired or so on, okay? You can do the same thing for an active listing. Let's see this one here, I have it for single family, and I also want to put it as for lease. Then I can go ahead and copy this listing and change the property type to lease. So good advantage there when we're copying a listing. Now let's look at how we can add a new listing. So on the top right here, we have create a new listing. So I'm gonna click on that button there. And this will take me through a wizard where I can select some key or some main features or main information. So the first option there is property type. What type of property am I listing? All right, so I'm gonna put in single family. Then it's gonna ask me for the APN number or the address. So I can enter the APN or the address. So I'm gonna search for an address and I'm gonna enter a new listing. So I'm gonna go ahead and click search once I enter the APN or address. And it's gonna give me the results here on the right side. All I have to do is select the correct property. Let's just say you don't know the APN number or you wanna skip the APN. Here at the bottom, you can go ahead and click on skip APN and you can start entering all the information yourself. And then later on, our compliance department can add the APN once you have that. It's, for example, a new development or, a new property, you don't have an APN number yet. So that's an option there. But we'll go ahead and select the address here and it takes us to public records. So I'm gonna go and confirm that public records has all the information correct. If not, I can make the change myself. So public records is the shaded blue area. That's what public records is showing, or it's pulling from public records. But I can go ahead and make that change here to the right of each, field there. Once I update that or once I confirm, we hit next on the top right, and that'll bring us to the area and PIN location. So we suggest an area based on the location of the PIN or the address, but you still have to enter it yourself here on the right. So I can enter either area 1 or type in Beverly Hills and then select from the option below to add that area. And then we want to make sure that the PIN location is at the right location. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in. If it's not, I can drag it and drop it wherever I think my property is located. And then once we have the location, we hit next on the top right. And that brings us to where we can input all the information. There are 33 required items that you must fill out, okay? But there are 4 different pages here. We have listing info, contract info, showings, and photos. And each page has different sections. So the listing information section here on the left side, there's different sections. I can jump to them at any time. Let's say I want to start off with the remarks. So I can go ahead and click on remarks, and then it takes me to that section. And then I can start typing in, my description. Below there's a private remarks. Maybe I want to fill out all the interior features. So I can click on interior features and it takes me to that section now. Okay, so then I can say, fill all the information in regards to the interior features. If we go to contract info, under contract info, that's in regards to anything in regards to the contract, okay? We still have coming soon, so coming soon is still available. That's not, has not been removed. The same rules applied for coming soon. If you used coming soon before, everything remains the same. There's contract details, okay? List date, expiration date, commission, okay? And so on. Now, I want to point out one of these section here, which is syndication. So we still syndicate with other websites, but one of the neat things that we've included in the new Slim is that we give you control of which websites you want your listing to appear. So if I scroll down here, you're going to see there's a List Hub, Homes.com, Apartments.com, Zillow and Trulia, and Realtor.com. Okay, those are the main websites that we syndicate with. Let's say you don't want your listing on homes.com. Okay, we can say, no, I don't want it on homes.com, so I'm gonna say no. It's not for lease, so apartments.com doesn't really matter. So we go down, I don't want it on Zillow either, I just want it on realtor.com. Okay, so I have control now of where I want my listing to appear. Now there's a lot of more websites, but these are the main top websites that we share data with. So Those are the only ones that we listed here, okay? And then showings, let's talk about showings. Under showings, you'll find virtual tour and property website. Okay, so virtual tour, you can add a link to like a video that you might have uploaded like on YouTube or Vimeo, or perhaps you have like a Matterport website. I've heard a lot of agents are using that lately. So you might have, you know, a virtual tour or some kind of link. Perhaps maybe you have a property, you know, website created for the property, like, you know, 8350wilshire.com. Okay, you can add that under virtual tour or property website. The difference is that virtual tour branding is not allowed. That means that your video or your that website you add here may not have any contact information, any email, phone number, or any address, or you know, any contact information or your photo. Okay, branding is not allowed for virtual tour. If your video or website does have any branding, then you can put it under property website, because branding is allowed here. Okay. And the last thing we have here is photos, where we can go ahead and upload the photos directly from to your listing from here. So you can add the photos on your listing. One of the neat features we have here is the preview option. So on the top right side, there's this little eyeball, this icon here. You can preview your listing. You click on that, it's gonna bring up the agent detail full report. And you can preview your listing. You can see what you've entered so far, how your listing is looking so far. And but a great tool for this, or a great use of this preview, is that, let's say here, for example, I didn't include style. See, it's blank. And that's something that I want to include. So I can see that, all right, I forgot to include style here. So let me go back. So I'm going to exit this, go back here. Now I want to look for style. Now, where do we find style? It could be lost in this whole Slim module, right? So on the top right, we have the search for form fields. So I can click inside there and I can type in style, and there's my results. I'll click on style and it's gonna take me, it's gonna jump to that, and there we are. So now I can say, all right, this is a contemporary style, and I can select that. And then I can save my draft here in the top right. Save draft will save my listing as incomplete and save my progress. And it automatically saves it for you every 90 seconds. So it's automatically saving it for you every 90 seconds. But, you know, I made a change here. I want to save draft. I can click on it. And then when I go back to preview and see if, you know, I added style now. So I want to see that. And so there is style. And now I see that I've added contemporary. So that's a great, you know, tool to have while you're entering a listing in the MLS. Once we're done, we're ready to make this active. We just hit proceed to submit, and we're all good now. We have an active listing in the system. So those are the main key features in the new Slim module. Everything else, well, you know, you want to update your status. You can go ahead and click on edit status right here, right next to your listing here. Under A for active, we can click on edit status. We could do a quick status edit there. Also the price, maybe we want to change the price. There's a pencil right next to the price. We can click on that, and we can also update the price directly from here. I don't have to go to edit and then, you know, look for price or look for status. Where do I find that? Okay. Those are the main key features for Slim. There's a lot of more features that we've included in Slim. However, we do have webinars. Just want to remind you guys that we do have webinars that go into more details. I don't have much time left, but if we go to help and you go to training and help, you just go here and click on register under webinars, and you will bring up a list of all the webinars that we have. Every day we have different webinars. And so Slim, I believe we offer that twice a week. So if you want to go over Slim, we can, you can sign up for that. You could just go to the list and sign up for all the different webinars. I do have a minute left, but I want to dedicate some time to any questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask any questions that you may have. Okay, no questions at all? Well, that'll bring me to the conclusion of today's presentation and today's training. I want to thank you.